Hello everyone. In the last video I explained one first method of spread spectrum, that is direct sequence spread spectrum. In this method, what exactly we do is we multiply the PN sequence with the information sequence so that the information is spreaded over the large bandwidth. And we use a PSK technique for modulation, and we change the phase of that PSK signal pseudo randomly according to the PN sequence. Now, and this signal, when it's transmitted over the channel, some interference may be added to the signal, and finally when it reaches the receiver, we use a technique called despreading. Despreading means using the same PN sequence, whatever we use in the transmitter, to get back the original binary data or information. So it is called despreading. So last video I explained how exactly we get back the original data, the message signal. Now in this video I am going to explain what is the effect of that despreading on the interference signal. Means I consider interference signal also, and what will be the impact on the interference signal, because I am using this spread spectrum to eliminate the interfering signal. Intentional interference, what happens because of the unauthorized people over the same bandwidth in which I am transmitting my signal. I have to remove, I have eliminate that interference signal. This is the major intention of using the spread spectrum technique, that is called anti-jamming, to avoid the jamming. So how exactly we eliminate that interfering signal? This is what I have to explain in this particular video. Okay, now in the slide I am going to explain the effect of despreading on the narrowband interference. Now what is despreading? Despreading means here we are going to get back the original message signal by passing the spreaded signal through this representation or through this block diagram. Just look at this diagram. So I have explained this block diagram in my previous video. Now in this block diagram, what exactly happens is the received signal is multiplied with the C of t. C of t is your PN signal, the same PN signal whatever we use in the transmitter side. When this R of t is multiplied with this C of t, what happens is the signal will be despreaded. The impact of the C of t will go. Why it goes? Just look at the equation. Now here, along with the transmitted signal, the spreaded signal, I will consider even the interference. That means some unauthorized person intentionally, unintentionally has put in his signal or added his signal to my transmitted signal. That is the interference. So let us say that I received a signal here, input signal R of t, which is given by this equation. That is, in this equation, just look at this. This is my signal. AC V of t, C of t, cos 2 pi FCT is my signal. For this particular signal, even the I of t is added. This is the interference. I of t is the interference. Now, what is the effect of despreading on the narrowband interference signal? That we have to understand. That is, what is the effect? How you are going to eliminate this interference signal? That we have to understand. Now, what happens is this R of t is given to the demodulation process of the DSSS, and where the C of t is multiplied initially, correct? This R of t is multiplied with the C of t. That means this signal will be multiplied by C of t. So that means here both this component and this component both are actually multiplied by C of t. So if they are multiplied with the C of t, what happens? Just the despreading will give you what? Here, after multiplying the C of t in this particular equation, we get a C square of t. C square of t is always equal to 1, and here the I of t multiplied with the C of t. So that is what happens. Now this is narrowband signal. I of t is a narrowband signal. This is a narrowband signal, and C of t is a wideband signal. So this is basically a wide bandwidth signal. Now when you multiply the narrowband signal with a wideband signal, we get in the output this component will be a wideband signal, correct? And in the demodulation process, this particular the correlator or a matched filter or a correlator, whatever you can use there, no problem. This correlator is used to get back the original signal, because they are usually use a PSK modulation, and we have to get back a low pass signal in the output of that. But when you pass this R of t C of t combination through this correlator, since this is a wideband signal, that signal will not be allowed to pass. right? Only the low pass component will be passed. So that is AC V of t cos 2 pi f c will be demodulated, and that component, because this is basically a V of t is plus 1 or minus 1, that means this is basically a PSK signal. It's a PSK demodulator. We get back the original signal within the bandwidth of R hertz. That is the original bit rate. That means we get back the original bits in the output of that with the bandwidth of R hertz. So, but this is having a bandwidth of W hertz, because C of t is having a bandwidth of W hertz. So that's what I have told here. So interfering signal will have a bandwidth of, it is spread over a bandwidth of W hertz, because its multiplication will result in a bandwidth to expand to the W hertz. Right? Now, this I of t and C of t will have a PSD. Okay. Now, before going into the PSD of that signal, particular signal, now you consider a sinusoidal. This signal I of t as a sinusoidal signal. Interference signal is simple sinusoidal signal, which is given by this particular equation. See this here. This equation. This equation consists of amplitude equal to AI and frequency equal to Fi. So interfering signal is having amplitude which is equal to AI, interference signal amplitude, let us say peak amplitude, and the frequency of that interference signal is Fi. So Fi is nothing but it is the frequency which is within the bandwidth of your signal, within your signal, this signal, okay, this signal, transmitted signal. Now, now in this case, just 1 second. In this case, what happens is, now this about this I told already. Now, what is the power spectral density of this particular component? That is I of t and multiplied by C of t, which is given by the power spectral density is given by, it is I naught. Let us say I naught just represents the power spectral density of the spreaded signal in the output of this particular multiplier of interference signal, and that is given by usually Pi divided by W. So what is Pi? Pi is something, it is the average power of the interference signal, and W is the bandwidth. That is the average power over the bandwidth will give you the power spectral density. So P, how to calculate? Multiplied by the RB, the bit rate, or R I have taken notation actually in my throughout the discussions. So it is Pi into R, I naught into R will give you the power, total power of the interference signal in the output of the demodulator. That's what I have told over here. Now, if I substitute that Pi by W, Pi by W is I naught. In this case, Pi by W is I naught. So I substitute that Pi by W multiplied by the R will give you this particular term. That is I naught into RB. So what is, if I bring that R to the denominator, we get an equation as Pi divided by W by R, and W by R is nothing but it is. So there are a few terms which we have to understand in the DSSS, the direct sequence spectrum. What is the probability of the error in the direct sequence spectrum? Then some other parameters. Okay. So the probability of error of DSSS system by using a binary PSK, usually DSSS uses binary PSK, it is given by this particular equation. So this equation can be derived by using some steps, but I have not done that derivation. So the next parameter is interference margin or jamming margin. In this particular slide, I am going to explain this another parameter, which is a very important parameter in the spectrum. Interference margin means it is the amount of opposition what is offered by the spectrum technique for interference signal or jamming signal. Jamming margin means amount of opposition to the jamming process. I am using spectrum for anti-jamming. Now, what exactly this is? See, in this term is signal to noise ratio of the DSSS system. Again, I have not done the derivation over here. This is done. This derivation can be done. So, signal to noise ratio in the output of the demodulator is actually given by 2 PS TB by Pi TC. Again, if I bring that TB to the denominator, so it is we get TC by TB, which is reciprocal of processing gain. So I have written a processing gain here. LC is a processing gain. So we get a 2 PS by Pi by LC. That is the processing gain. Now one more term is coding gain. My title says performance of coded spectrum signals. So usually in the digital communication, what exactly we do is we use channel coding techniques like block coding or maybe convolutional coding techniques. So this coding technique is used to avoid the errors, bit errors because of the interference or noise, basically. So because of this process, again, channel coding technique, we can include one more term in the equation of jamming margin, that is pi by ps ratio. So that term is called coding gain. So that term is called coding gain here. So this coding gain, it can be calculated by using a formula, standard formula, which is given by RC into D minimum H, where this RC is nothing but the code rate. That means it is the rate at which the codes are generated in the channel coder, and D minimum H is given by, it is the minimum Hamming distance of the code. Minimum Hamming distance of the code. Now, I say this coding gain is actually going to improve the performance of the spread spectrum technique. It is going to increase the value. So that means the effect of coding is to increase the interference margin by a coding gain. So it is increasing means it has to be added with the terms. So I have modified the equation here, that is pi by ps is given by w by r plus coding gain, cg is a coding gain here, minus eb by I naught. Previous equation I have included additional term with a plus symbol because it is going to increase. Now we will solve a few problems on these formulas, whatever we discussed. The first one is the signal to noise ratio required at the detector to achieve reliable communication in a direct sequence spread spectrum communication system is 13 dB. If the interference to the signal power at the receiver is 20 dB, determine the processing gain required to achieve a reliable communication. Fine. So we have to calculate the processing gain here. What they have given is signal to noise ratio 13 dB, interference to the signal power ratio, that is signal jamming margin, is given by 20 dB. So the formula for signal to noise ratio is this. In this formula I have to find out LC, that is, suppose we require an EB by I naught of 10 dB to achieve a reliable communication. What is the processing gain that is necessary to achieve an interference margin of 20 dB? We have to I have to calculate again processing gain. What they have given is EB by I naught ratio and interference margin, jamming margin. Again, what is the relationship? This is the relationship. Pi by ps is equal to w by r minus EB by I naught. Coding gain is not mentioned, so I have not considered that. Substitute, I have to calculate w by r ratio here, that is processing gain. Bring this on the other side, EB by I naught. So I will get equal to 30 dB. Now here, 30 dB. 30 dB converted into the number is 1000 here. So that is w by r ratio, processing gain is 1000. Now just look at the given parameter, interference margin. What is the meaning of this interference margin is? The interference margin is given as 20 dB. So 20 dB, if I convert that into the number, that is 100. That means Pi to Ps is equal to, Pi by Ps is equal to 100. That is Pi, you can say this Pi is actually, okay. Now in this video I have explained what is the effect of spread spectrum on the interference signal, a narrowband interference signal. Later on, how to remove that interference signal and all those things I explained. Later on, probability of error, signal to noise ratio, coding gain, jamming margin, interference margin. So the definitions of this I explained. Few problems on these equations also I have explained in this video. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.